thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So we are Mile High Beach, and one of the things that we have on this channel is a review of big rig friendly campgrounds. That's one of our playlists. Another playlist is our Good Eats in Small Spaces. You might see those videos on how to cook in a really small space. And then this last one we're opening up, we're kicking this one off with Harvest Host reviews. So we're pretty excited to do this one.
Yeah. We have embarked on the Harvest Host, dipped our toe into boondocking, and looking forward to sharing our first experience with the Harvest Host.
Yeah, and we thought a lot about this this membership. We even bought a membership for a couple of our friends to experience it too. We had one for a whole year. We didn't even use it. So this is our first time, and we're really excited to tell you all about it. So this is the new Basin Distillery. And it is in Madras, Oregon. Let me start all over again, because I didn't even talk about what Harvest Host is.
Oh, well, let's talk about Harvest Host then.
Let's talk about Harvest Host. So let's talk about what Harvest Host is. So it's basically a membership, and it's a one-night stay, generally without hookups, but sometimes you can have that. You never know. You have to ask.
You just have to ask.
Yeah. And around how many places would you say there are?
I don't know. The membership varies. We have the basic membership. It's I think about $80. I mean, it's less than $100 a year, and that gives us, I think, about 1,300 or 1,400 Harvest Hosts. You can bump that up to a different type of membership, and that will add in, I think, golf courses. And then you can also increase the membership. And again, I don't know the price points. We can look. We'll see if we can find that information and share it in the below. But I think you can bump it up again, and that will give you access to all of the Boondockers welcome sites. I think Harvest Host purchased Boondockers Welcome, I think it was last year, and so that opened up. I believe that about doubled what you had access to just under Harvest Host. So you can have access to almost 3,000 properties that allow you to basically stop for a night if you need to find a place to make a pit stop.
Yeah. If you're not into driving long stretches of time, and maybe your route is like 8 hours away and you don't want to drive the whole 8 hours, we certainly don't. We do a 333 rule, so we're less than 300 miles, get there before 3:30, and what's that other one?
What did you say?
333.
I know.
The mileage,
the time,
and
the mileage, the hours, and the time of day.
Oh, the mileage, the hours, and well. So anyway, we don't drive long.
So 3 hours, get there before 3:30, no more than 300 miles.
Yeah, there you go. You can tell we're not into doing like blooper reels.
The bloopers are included.
The bloopers are included. You get to enjoy the bloopers with the video. Yes, because we're not into doing this twice. All right.
So just real quick on Harvest Host though, is they have an app.
Yeah.
And the app allows you to search your route. You can search by location. It's actually a pretty nice app that you can download to your phone, and do your searching that way and do your planning. So anyway, that's about Harvest Host.
Yeah, we'll put a little bit of some footage or a picture of the app, screenshot of the app, and you get a chance to see that. And it's really quite easy to navigate, and you can communicate directly with the host, which is very nice.
We were just so excited to jump into our experience, we forgot to tell you even what it was.
I know. Yeah, so let's get back to it. The new Basin Distillery is the location that we stayed at. It was in Madras, Oregon, just off of Oregon 26. If you think of nearby attractions, the only reason we know this is because we spent some time in the tasting room with Rick, and he told us that there was a casino nearby. We stayed there in August of 2022 for just one night. Full hookups. There are no hookups at this location that we found. There were no water, power, and sewer, so you're going to need to be off your generator, batteries, or solar panels.
Whatever your off-grid setup looks like.
Yeah,
you'll have to use it here.
Yeah, and you'll use your tanks for your holding tanks. So this was a combination of gravel and kind of a dirt/grass lot, and so when you first pull into the property, and we'll show some footage here of our coming into the property, and what that was like. You know, the coming into the property and the getting out to the dirt lot.
Set up and then actually, and how we, you know, the same kind of exit as well. We'll show a little bit of footage from all of that.
Yeah.
How we entered and how we exited
Yeah.
the property.
Yeah.
Looks good. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, you're fine. You look good. You're perfectly fine on the passenger side.
Okay.
So you're just gonna follow me down here to this opening.
Okay.
Doing a little harvest host parking out here in the big old field. Good thing they got this big old field, but I'll tell you what, the whole area looked a lot bigger on Google, on Google Maps. So if you're doing a harvest host, do whatever kind of checking in you need to do to make sure that you can fit.
I don't even think I'm going to add this to the mix. I don't think there's really any reason.
So we're going 26 north.
26 north to 35 north.
Yeah, and we're actually riding right through the Warm Springs Indian Reservation. You're clear on this side.
This is a very nice gas station.
Yeah. They even have speed bumps in the gas station. Oh, and they've got diesel over there. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Look at it
On a
there.
separate pump, yeah.
That's why I said they had the EFS card over there.
Oh, nice, yeah. Oh, you saw them flashing it on that side,
Yeah, it shows
yeah.
up on this
I
board right
see.
here.
That's nice. So this is 26 right here,
This
yeah.
should be 26 right here.
Oh, okay.
It says right there. 26.
I see that,
See that?
yeah. Yeah. So this was Cherry Lane, okay.
Well, Distilling, New Basin Distillery.
Thank you for a great stay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We enjoyed ourselves
Yeah.
immensely.
You did.
Yeah.
Lot spacing isn't really a thing for this particular one. You'll see from the video footage that, you know, it's kind of a parking lot, and then you pull out into the dirt lot, and there was nobody out there. Rick said that they have up to about 50 Harvest Host people come in a month. I don't think they have them all come in at once, so, you know, there's plenty of room.
Yeah, and the website again kind of speaks to, you know, what the owner will allow if they have more than one spot, if they have hookups, if they're, you know, dog friendly. And I think you even touch on that. You know, there's a number of criteria in the app that, you know, you're able to find out about the site.
Mm-hmm. He sees a friend.
Yeah,
He's getting
a
fired
friend.
up. So other amenities worth noting, there was a really great gas station right across, was it even across the street?
Yeah, it literally was just across the street. You could walk to it. It was that close.
Yeah, and since we were running our generator, it was great to be that close to a place that had a gas station, so that if we ran out of gas, we could go get more.
Yeah.
We didn't end up needing that, but that was good to know.
Yeah, they had gas, diesel, propane. You know, it was a very much full service gas station.
Yeah. Yes, it was pet friendly, and like she said, if you're looking in the app, you'll be able to see that in the app that it is pet friendly in terms of what the host will allow. So top 3 and bottom 3 for this. This format is a little different from our campground reviews because we're only staying one night. There's a bunch of stuff we're not experiencing, and so we're just going to have kind of an abbreviated review. Yeah. So the top 3, what would you say?
I'd say top 3 was it had a big lot. You know, we had plenty of space, as you'll see in the video footage, that there was lots of room for us to maneuver our large fifth wheel. It was definitely people were friendly. I mean, everybody was great, from the owner Skip, who came out to kind of help us, just kind of tell us, you know, where we should park. The folks in the distillery, we met Rick. You mentioned Rick already. He did the tasting, and then they had this great, which is the third thing, food. Not really a food truck. I'll say it was a food soda truck. But they had great wood-fired pizza.
Whiskey pizza
and
pie.
one of them, yeah, they actually used one of the whiskeys that they were distilling there and put it in the pizza.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was all around the experience there, from the distillery room where you kind of started and got your, kind of tasted things, moved to the bar, which is kind of in the middle where you could order drinks with the things you just tasted, and then the last thing was the pizza, which you could order to go with your drinks.
Yeah.
So that you didn't get sick from all of this,
All the whiskey.
all the whiskey tasting you were doing.
And what a smart model, right? I mean, you have a tasting room, and then you go to a bar so that you can have the drinks mixed into the actual distilled beverages mixed into actual cocktails, and then they have a food option there too. I mean, that's a really smart model because they're taking care of all of it, and the only thing you need to run off property for is gas. So that's really very smart of them to do that. High five to New Basin Distillery.
Yeah, and they even had that espresso cart.
Yes.
It wasn't open while we were there because I think it's only open Monday through Friday. But
Yeah.
If you're there during the week, then you can get your coffee.
Yeah.
So they really
Super
were
smart.
offering kind of everything.
Yeah, and they also do these specialty vinegars. I looked on the website and I was like, what do you mean vinegars? So then they turn those into like cocktail mixers. A lot of times cocktail mixers have a lot of sugar in them. And so these are balsamic vinegars that have a sweetness to them, and they're using them in their cocktails. I'll put a picture of the ones that we purchased.
They made a no.
It was a mule.
A mule. They made a mule, and then he made some
Something
sort of
else, some vodka thing.
some sort of vodka
with a coconut balsamic.
balsamic in it.
So
It was
good.
So good.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting mixology going on there.
Seriously. So bottom three.
Bottom three, we were right off of State Route, 26 there in Oregon. So, I mean, the positive is that you have close access, and then the negative is that you have the noise. But
Yeah.
the noise really did not last much beyond, early night, 10, 11 o'clock. It's a small town. Charlotte clearly is smelling something in the air. But because it's a small town, the noise really did subside. So it wasn't like it was disruptive at all.
Yeah.
But it was some noise there, if that's going to bother you.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot around. There again, it's a small town. And other than the casino and the gas station,
We didn't really see anything
I don't know
else.
that there was a lot of other options in this particular location.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, because it is a parking lot, there were no trees.
You could see from the
so,
footage.
so there was no shade.
Yeah.
So if you're there in a hot time of year, just be aware that you could get kind of toasty.
Yeah. Super toasty. Yeah. So would we give this a thumbs up, or a thumbs sideways thumb, or a thumbs down, and a paw up? What do we do
We'll
here?
start with the thumbs.
We'll start with the thumbs.
And
we
we
would
would
give
give
it a
this a thumb
thumbs
up
up
for sure.
Yes, we absolutely
We
would.
really did like this stop.
Yeah.
And then I think Charlie would give this a paw up too.
Yeah, you liked it too, huh?
He liked it.
You had some-
He had some nice little sniffs.
He had some great sniffs.
And then
yeah.
we even took him, we walked down the street.
Yeah.
The one night we were there, it was a business park area.
Yeah.
And we got to let him off leash a little bit. I think we even have some footage of that too, so we'll throw that in here.
Run free. Yay, look at Charlie. He loves to just run around. Every now and then he gets to get off leash. He loves it. Where are you going? Come back.
Hey.
Come here. Yeah.
But yeah, he got a little off leash fun time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. The one thing that we didn't mention earlier about the Harvest Host thing is that there's the $80 a year or whatever it is. Don't quote us on that because it could have changed. So it's an annual membership, but I don't think it's more than like $150. And you have access to all these different properties. The only expectation is that when you come to the place, you make a small donation, like $20 or less, to whatever the property is. Like, so if it's a farm and maybe they sell fruits and vegetables, you buy some fruits and vegetables.
Some eggs
or some eggs. If it's a alpaca farm, I don't know what you would buy from an alpaca
Maybe
farm.
they have some sweaters.
Some sweat, right?
Or something,
So
I don't know.
$20 or less. I mean, that's the expectation. Now, in our case, we kind of blew our wad
Yeah.
because we bought a bottle of whiskey that was a bit more than $20.
Yes.
But it was delicious.
So tasty.
Yeah, it was
So yeah,
delicious.
but yeah, that's a good point is to bring up is that
Yeah.
even though it is a membership,
Yeah.
the expectation is that you would purchase something at the stop.
Yeah. I mean, if that's available. Like the next one we're going to is a museum. I'm not even sure if the museum's going to be open while we're there, and otherwise, I guess we would just make a donation. So we'll find out, and
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
let you
find
know,
out.
because we'll be doing a review of that one.
We'll review that one.
All right, so on these Harvest Toast ones, particularly on this one, we have a what did we learn section, because we learned so much about our ability to boondock, dry camp, if you will, since we'd never done it before. So the first thing that we learned was we had a pretty moderate temperature of the day, so that worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of warm when we got there.
It was warm when we got there.
Yeah.
But it cooled off at night, thankfully.
Yeah. And so when we first got there, there was a little bit of drama when we got there because we had to scrape. Well, so there was something in the road that we couldn't avoid. And so we had to get all that off the car when we got there. So we spent some time scrubbing all the matter off of the car. And
it was just because it was so hot.
Yeah, it just dried right on.
It was, it happened early in the drive.
Yeah.
Something that had already been hit.
But
we could not swerve to not run over.
Not swerving with 20,000 GVW.
Yeah, so it left a little. It left a stain.
Yeah, that's gonna leave a mark.
We had to. Yeah, we cleaned up.
Yeah, so that took us some time, but we ran the. So, well, I say all that to say we got there. It was kind of warm, and then we turned the generator on, and we ran the generator up until the time we went to bed.
Yeah, so we turned it on. What do we say? Around 3:30.
Turned it around 3:30.
And didn't even turn it off till about 10:30.
Yeah, we turned on our inverter. When we turned the generator off, we turned on our inverter to run our residential refrigerator overnight, and so we didn't have any other AC power for the night, and we just ran off of the batteries and DC power inverted for the refrigerator.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll just say one thing, and you probably have this scattered around here, but in our setup, we have the generator that we purchased with the RV. The only thing that we changed in our setup was we swapped out the original battery, just the regular cell battery. I don't remember which one it was, but we swapped that out for 2 lithiums.
Lion Energy lithium.
Yeah, we went with Lion Energy because they were on sale at Costco at the time that we bought them.
Yes.
So we swapped those 2 batteries in for the cell battery that we had, and then we had the generator, and we noticed that the generator actually can run. It's meant to power the entire RV. So we had 2 ACs on, and we were watching TV, and we were doing everything that we would normally do if we were hooked up in a campground.
Yeah.
So we didn't really experience any issues at all from that perspective.
Yeah. And then because we got a little panicked because we're like, we don't want to wake up in the morning and then the refrigerator, we just weren't sure about the setup. And so one thing we learned more about is the concept of the auto start, something that you can set from the one control panel. You searched in the forum, you saw a comment from Tesla Eddie.
Saw many comments.
Shout out to Tesla Eddie, thank you for your comments.
And he just had some screenshots in there that kind of just circled, auto start, is an option to use if you want to make sure that you don't deplete your batteries overnight.
Yeah.
So you can set your generator to come on, and there's basically 3 settings. There's the voltage. So in our case, our voltage is usually right around 13.6
on the battery
when we're hooked up on the batteries. So you can set the low voltage minimum. It starts at 12, and you can go all the way down to 10 point something. I can't remember. I know that our batteries are usually good down to about 11 something. So because we hadn't used this before, I didn't want to go too low, so we set it at 12. And then I think the way I set it to run was if it hit 12 volts, come on and run for, I believe I set it for an hour. So come on for an hour and then run for an hour. And that was basically it. But thankfully, we didn't need it.
Yeah, we did not need it.
It never came on because it turns out that the refrigerator is the only item that was really running. I mean, obviously there's some residual battery from things that run off of battery. We didn't actually disconnect the battery in the rig, so there's some residual items, but basically just the refrigerator pulling energy from those batteries. It really didn't even drop below about 13.1 when we woke up. So the generator never came on because it never reached that low of 12.
Yeah.
So that was great to know.
That was really great to know. I mean, we were just a little, worried that we would deplete our batteries, because one thing we also learned in your research, because I had this idea, hey, why don't we just turn off the turn off the generator and run off the batteries, and then, no worries. I mean, if we get down to running out of the battery, we'll just start it up again. We'll start the generator up and we'll power the batteries. Well, what we discovered is that if you have no battery power, then you can't even start your generator. And if you have no battery power, not only can you not start your generator, you cannot pull your slides in or lift your jacks up. So that's why you don't want to get too low.
So you don't want to, you don't want to let those batteries die, because, you can, I guess, hook your tow vehicle up, your truck
to the 7-pin.
But we have no idea how fast that triple charge is going to take.
Yeah.
That it could take quite some time to charge up those batteries. We just have no idea. So it's just better to err on the side of not letting those batteries die.
There you go.
So that's what we did. So, but yeah, that was something we learned. You can't let the batteries die, or else your generator won't start.
Right. So we talked about auto start. We talked about having the generator owning 5500 on board. We talked about, if you're going to run your generator, you want to make sure that there's no obstruction on the tailpipe. So the tailpipe to your generator, the exhaust pipe that's going out the side of the RV or wherever it comes out on your RV, just make sure there's no high dry grass or dry paper or whatever, because that tailpipe gets hot.
It's super hot.
Yes, and so you want to make sure that there's no obstructions there. Let me see what else.
I think the only other thing was just the gas consumption.
Yeah.
Our generator is a gas generator. It's not diesel.
Right.
And I think when we started running it, it was about half a tank. I have a 5-gallon gas can that we carry with us. So
How many versions of that gas can?
Yeah, that's a whole nother video, a whole nother story. This is probably the 6th gas can until I finally found one that actually worked.
Yeah.
Because the problem I was having before was that it was an angle issue. But anyway, not to digress. But our generator, I think it holds, I want to say 30 gallons. But anyway, it was about half full. And because we didn't know how much gas was going to get consumed, I did run over to that gas station and got 5 more gallons and put it in. So I think when it topped off, it was about 3/4 tank full.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's still sitting at 3/4 tank full, even after it ran for about 7 hours. And then we ran it the next morning as we were, getting ready to leave. So yeah, it probably ran about 8-9 hours, and it didn't seem like the gas gauge really budged from about 3/4 tank full after I put that 5 gallons in there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that kind of covers it. That covers not only the review of the new Basin Distillery, it also includes the big list of things that we learned in this adventure. Now, the next one we do, there'll probably be a shorter list of things because we kind of already know some things already, but we'll continue to test things out. The one question, you already said the question about we don't know how long the 7-pin will charge.
Yeah. So
that's kind of an outstanding question.
You don't want to rely on that. You don't have to rely on that, I don't
just
think,
don't let
to
the
charge
battery
your
die.
batteries. It's just a big question mark.
Yeah. So I think that's about it. We want to give our combined thumbs and paws up for the new Basin Distillery.
And we want to know also which Harvest hosts, if you guys have a membership, which ones have you been to?
Yeah, which ones have you liked? And big rig friendly, if you know anything about big rig friendly stuff, because that's going to matter for us. We need access to get in, access to maneuver around.
And one of the filters in the app, it actually does tell you what the maximum size of the property will allow.
Yeah.
So of course we put in the 45 plus.
Of course.
Because those are the sites we need because of our size. So, but yeah, if you've had a Harvest host experience, let us know. We would love to know how people are experiencing and enjoying the Harvest hosts. And it took us a while to dip our toe to get there, but we
about a year.
But we're really excited. We'll be staying at a couple more, so we will definitely share those experiences as soon as we get there.
Yeah.
But drop us a comment and let us know what your experience has been.
Yeah, introduce yourself. Let us know where you've stayed. If you like this content, give us a like, share, subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you the next time.
And until then, bye-bye.
Bye.